Looking up, the canopy blocks the light. A young orangutan hangs alone, a tiny figure in a vast, misty world. His face shows uncertainty. Far below, the dizzying drop reveals the massive scale of the dipterocarp giants. He climbs with awkward determination. Pulling back, the drone reveals the endless green ocean of the rainforest canopy. Danger is small here. A black ant's pincers and a serrated leaf edge signal the hidden threats of the microcosm. From space, our world looks peaceful, but down below, the sun rises on a hostile planet, teeming with life and death. Flying fast over the canopy, mist rises like breath from the trees, a dense, impenetrable fortress of nature. Life is everywhere. A gibbon swings with grace, and a pink dolphin navigates the murky depths of the river. Eyes watch from the shadows. A macaque stares intensely, while thousands of bats fill the sunset sky. Hunters and hunted. An ocelot prowls, a frog wakes, and a bat snatches a fish in a split second of violence. Aerial combat. Hummingbirds clash in the rain, while a caiman's jaws snap shut with deadly force. Night brings new dangers. A tarsier leaps in the dark, and a single water droplet explodes on the leaf. Survival against the odds. A sloth swims through floodwaters as lightning tears the sky apart above. Nature's mirror. A single drop falls, holding the reflection of the entire forest within its sphere. Endless green. The Amazon stretches to the horizon, a kingdom of trees known simply as jungles. The river flows calm and brown, but on the bank, a shadow moves. A jaguar stalks its prey. Stealth mode. The big cat moves silently through the mud, eyes locked on something in the water. Explosion. The jaguar launches into the river, wrestling a caiman in a spray of white water. Raw power. Muscles ripple as the cat drags the reptile up the bank, winning the battle of strength. Race for light. A sapling shoots up in a time-lapse, desperate for the sun in the dark understory. The strangler's embrace. A fig vine wraps around its host, a slow-motion suffocation over decades. Looking up, the puzzle is complete. Crown shyness leaves cracks of light in a ceiling of leaves. Rising above, a kapok tree bursts through the canopy, an island in the sky against the mist. King of the canopy. A red howler monkey roars silently, his throat sac expanding in the golden light. Effortless speed. A spider monkey swings through the high branches, a blur of motion against the green. Fear strikes. A capuchin freezes, eyes wide. An alarm call shatters the peace of the treetops. Death from above. The harpy eagle glides silently, talons ready, navigating the tight gaps. Chaos erupts. Monkeys scatter in panic as the eagle dives with incredible precision. A near miss. In slow motion, talons grab only wood and leaves as the prey escapes. Regal failure. The eagle perches, ruffling its crest. Lethal and majestic, it waits for the next chance. Down to the floor, focus shifts to the army ants, a relentless marching line of destruction. Armored soldiers, giant mandibles, guard the column. The ground itself seems to be moving. Micro-war. A katydid is overwhelmed by hundreds of ants, a brutal display of collective power. Run for your life. A wolf spider flees the tide, climbing a fern to escape the river of ants. Alien growth. A cordyceps fungus sprouts from a dead ant, releasing spores into the backlit air. Cycle of decay. A fallen fruit vanishes rapidly, consumed by white mold in a time-lapse of recycling. Evening mist. The jungle floor turns cold and blue. Faint lights begin to glow in the dark. Ghost lights. Bioluminescent fungi shine neon green, a haunting path through the pitch black. Giant eyes. The spectral tarsier reflects the camera light, clinging to a branch and scanning the night. Leap of faith, the tarsier launches into the dark, snatching a cricket in midair with precision. Cold-blooded, a pit viper coils, heat pits, sensing the warmth of prey, waiting for the moment. Unaware, a red-eyed tree frog croaks on a leaf, oblivious to the danger lurking behind. Lightning strike. The snake snaps at empty air as the frog leaps away in a dramatic escape. Dawn breaks. The sun crests the mountains, illuminating the mist rolling through the valleys like an ocean. Morning chorus. Birds fly across the misty canopy, waking the jungle with their calls. Morning dew. Water droplets on a web reflect the inverted image of the green forest behind. Sword, bill. A hummingbird with an impossibly long beak feeds rapidly to fuel its high energy. Aerial, dogfight. Two hummingbirds clash in midair, maneuvering with incredible speed and aggression. Blue flash. A morpher butterfly flutters through the shafts of sunlight in the understory. Gathering storm. Dark clouds block the sun, and the wind whips the palms. The mood turns ominous. The heavens open. Torrential rain falls like a wall, pounding the leaves with tropical force. Impact zone. Raindrops hit a beetle like bombs, knocking it sideways in slow motion. Miserable monkey. A capuchin sits soaked and hunched, enduring the daily deluge of the rainforest. Micro flood. Ants scramble to save their larvae as a small stream bursts its banks on the forest floor. Steam rising. The rain stops and the jungle becomes a sauna as the sun returns. Sunbather. An emerald basilisk basks on a rock, steam curling off its green scales. Water walker. Startled, the lizard sprints across the surface, feet slapping the water in slow motion. Night vision. The tarsier's huge eyes dominate the frame, reflecting the moonlight in the dark. Spring-loaded. It leaps from a branch, grabbing a moth with both hands in midair. Hunter's moon. The full moon shines through the canopy, bathing the forest in cool silver light. Crunch time. A tarsier eats a cricket, looking around nervously as another lands nearby. Family, huddle. 3. Tarsiers groom each other, glowing in the moonlight against the dark. The lookout. One climbs higher, rotating its head to scan the forest for danger. Darkness falls. Storm clouds block the moon, plunging the forest into pitch blackness. Silent stalker. A snake's silhouette moves along a branch, closing in on the unsuspecting tarsier. Sensing heat, the python's pits detect warmth, and its tongue tastes the air for prey. Thermal view. From the snake's eyes, the tarsier glows bright red against the cool blue forest. Closing in, the python slithers silently, coiling its body to strike. Spotted, the tarsier freezes, ears swiveling. It lets out a silent alarm call. Stare down. Multiple pairs of glowing eyes face the snake. The element of surprise is gone. Retreat. The python backs away into the shadows, defeated by the vigilant group. Relief, the family relaxes, but the night remains dark. Lightning flashes in the distance. Storm building. Massive clouds stack up on the horizon, lit from within by constant lightning. Winds of change. The canopy thrashes in the gale, and thunder rumbles through the trees. Wet season. The skies open, and a curtain of heavy rain blurs the world. Rain, drop explosion. Water hits a leaf with force, sending insects scrambling for cover. Flash of white. Lightning strikes a tree, illuminating the landscape in a dramatic silhouette. Twilight storm. Dark clouds roil over the jungle, lit by frequent flashes. Looking up, a jagged fork of lightning tears across the dark blue sky above the trees. Moody mountains, mist and rain obscure the peaks in a dark, powerful atmosphere. Panoramic power. Multiple strikes hit the Amazon basin, lighting up the clouds from behind. Rolling clouds. A fast time-lapse shows the storm's energy moving over the forest canopy. Alien pulse. Yellow slime mold moves across the wet soil, seeking food like a liquid creature. Instant bloom. Pink and white mushrooms unfurl in seconds against the dark background. Rot and life. Slime mold oozes over a decaying log, sharing space with scurrying insects. Magic growth. Translucent mushrooms rise from a dark leaf, expanding in the soft light. Nature's network. Yellow mycelium spreads like veins, racing to decompose the wood. Coral fungus. Orange branches grow alongside green slime mold, alien and vibrant. Web of white. Fungal threads cover dead leaves on the forest floor, recycling the debris. Veiled lady. The mushroom erupts, dropping its white lace skirt in a beautiful display. Dust of life. A cloud of spores releases into a shaft of sunlight, drifting like smoke. Textures of decay. A fallen trunk is covered in shelf brackets and moss, wet and woody. Ant close-up. A large bullet ant pauses on a green leaf, twitching its antennae. Infected mind. The ant looks disoriented, cleaning itself obsessively as the fungus takes hold. The climb. Silhouetted against the dark, the infected ant jerks its way up a vertical stem. Death grip. Mandibles clamp onto a leaf vein with immense force. The ant dies in position. Inside, the host. White fungal roots spread through muscles and brain, taking total control. Breaking through, a pale stalk pierces the dead ant's head, growing upwards in a time-lapse. Alien growth. The fungal stalk lengthens and twists, contrasting with the ant's hard armor. Fruiting body. The tip swells and changes color, maturing from white to reddish-brown. Spore burst. The fungus ruptures, releasing a fine cloud of spores into the jungle air. Drifting death. Spores float on the breeze, passing over unsuspecting ants marching below. New victim. A spore lands on a live ant. The cycle of infection begins again. Gallery of death. Moths, beetles, and spiders, all encased in the strange beauty of fungus. Biological minefield. The peaceful forest floor hides a deadly secret of spores and decay. Biodiversity. Colorful mushrooms bloom on a rotting log, showing the variety of life. Rapid recycling. A leaf disintegrates as white mycelium spreads across its surface. Wood wide web. Fungal roots connect with trees underground, exchanging vital nutrients. Towering giants. Massive trees stand tall, fueled by the recycling from the floor below. Harmony. Sunlight illuminates the steam, harmonizing the cycle of life and death. Rising tide. The sound of water fades in as the river creeps up the tree trunks. Pygmy sloth. Hanging from a mangrove, she looks small and vulnerable against the blur. Masked face. Close up, she looks calm, but the water below is rising fast. Island isolation. Surrounded by floodwater, the sloth is trapped on her mangrove island. Reaching out, she tries to bridge the gap, moving in characteristic slow motion. No way across. Looking up from the water, the threat of falling is real. Decision made, she stares at the water, realizing she must swim to survive. Into the water, the sloth swims with a surprising breaststroke, head held high. Vulnerable swim. Moving through the flooded forest, she is exposed in the open water. Underwater view. Her fur flows as she paddles, claws silhouetted against the surface. Hauling out, reaching a tree, she hooks her claws and pulls her heavy body up. Soaked safety. Dripping wet, she clings to the mossy bark, exhausted but safe. Higher ground. She climbs into the canopy, blending back into the green foliage. Drowned forest, gliding over the black water. The perfect reflection is disorienting. Eerie silence. Mist rises from the humid water as sunlight filters through the leaves. Night falls. The sun sets, and the sounds of the jungle night begin. Waiting game. A python coils around a branch, scales glistening, ready for prey. Silhouette hunter. A praying mantis cleans its legs against the deep blue moonlit bokeh. Shadows move. The feeling of being watched is intense as we move through the dark. Glowing eyes. The spectral tarsier appears, clinging to a tree like a gremlin. Huge eyes, ears twitching. It listens to the ultrasonic sounds of the night. Night vision. The dark forest lights up, highlighting a moth in the distance. The leap. In slow motion, legs extend, and the tarsier flies to grab its prey. Hunter's moon. Bright light casts strong shadows through the gap in the canopy. Social bond. A family of tarsiers huddle and groom, safe together in the night. Moonlit hunt. Silhouetted against the moon, a tarsier grabs an insect. Darkness returns. Storm clouds block the moon, and the wind picks up. Silent stalker. The python moves fluidly through the branches, closing in. Heat seeker. Pits on the snake's jaw, sense warmth, tongue tasting the air. Thermal target. The tarsier glows bright red in the snake's heat vision. Detected. The tarsier freezes, ears swiveling. Its huge eyes lock onto the threat. Stare down. The family gathers, staring at the snake. The surprise is lost. Retreat. Spotted. The python backs away into the foliage as the tarsiers watch. Grey dawn. The darkness fades to heavy mist and distant thunder. Storm begins. Torrential rain blurs the trees as the wind whips the canopy. Heavy impact. Raindrops smash into leaves with sheer force in slow motion. Soaked, tiny bird. A hummingbird grips a twig, shaking water from its eyes. Shivering warmth, chest feathers vibrate to generate heat for its high metabolism. Flight in rain. Beating wings spray water as it takes flight through the storm. Desperate search. Zipping between flowers, it frantically looks for nectar. Feeding time. It finds a downward pointing flower and drinks deeply. Hit by rain. A massive drop knocks the bird off balance, but it recovers instantly. Mid-air battle. Another hummingbird attacks, beaks clashing in the rain. Dogfight. Chasing through the wet vegetation, dodging vines at high speed. Victor returns. Perched and panting, its throat flashes in the dull light. The climb. A bullet ant moves shakily up a stem, driven by something inside. Disoriented, twitching antennae signal the fungus has taken control. Death grip. Mandibles clamp onto a leaf vein. The ant's journey ends here. Final purpose. Eyes glaze over as the host dies in the perfect spot. Emergence. A pale stalk pushes through the dead ant's head in a fast time-lapse. Alien growth. The fungal stalk twists upwards, contrasting with the hard armor. Fruiting body. The tip swells and turns reddish-brown as it matures. Spore cloud, backlit by the sun. The fungus ruptures, releasing its spores. Drifting down, spores float towards the unsuspecting ants marching below. Infection cycle. A spore lands on a live ant, beginning the process anew. Diverse victims, moths, beetles and spiders, all claimed by different fungi. Forest floor, peaceful to the eye, but a biological minefield of spores. Rising up, the drone leaves the dark understory, emerging into bright sunlight. River of life. The brown Amazon cuts through the green, swollen with rain. Pink dolphin, breaking the surface. Its unique color contrasts with the water. Murky depths, navigating the roots with echolocation in low visibility. The hunt, chasing fish through submerged branches with surprising agility. Snapping jaws. A close-up shows the dolphin catching its prey amidst the debris. Social play. To dolphins splash and roll, bonding in the river system. Flooded forest. The river overflows, turning the trees into a vast wetland. Sonar scan. Navigating the maze of roots in the red-tinted water. Melon twitch. The forehead sends out clicks into the mysterious void. Rapid chase, accelerating through a gap, silt swirling in its wake. Capture jaws, snap shut on a silver fish, swallowing it whole. Drowned world. Looking up at the surface, the dolphin swims against the light. Breath of life. Breaking the surface. Water sprays as it dives again. Changing levels. Time-lapse shows the shifting waters of the Amazon Basin. Drying out. Green turns to brown as drought threatens the wetland. Australia. A rugged, drier landscape reveals red earth below the canopy. Fragmentation. A patch of green survives in the scrub, a remnant of the past. River oasis. The drone follows the winding Roper River, a lifeline in the dry paper bark, trees, roots exposed, lining the banks under the intense sun. Bat colony. Hundreds of flying foxes hang wrapped in their wings. Heat stress. Panting and fanning, a bat struggles in the shimmering air. Blazing sun. Harsh light beats down through the pond, oppressive and hot. Crowded bronze, squabbling for shade. The noise of the colony is deafening. Mother's care, licking her weak baby, trying to cool it down against the odds. Dipping, a bat flies low, soaking its chest fur in the river water. Rehydration, flying back, it licks the water from its fur, fighting to survive.